ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something fundamental, something that cuts to the core of human nature. You are judged every day by the world, by society, by your peers, and yes, by men. And before you leap to reject that reality, consider this. It is not an injustice. It is not oppression. It is an immutable fact of existence. You've undoubtedly seen it before, a woman who walks into a room and without uttering a single word captures attention. There's something about the way she moves, the way she holds herself, the quiet but unmistakable confidence she exudes. She may not be the most traditionally beautiful person in the room, yet people notice her. Why? Because she understands something fundamental about human nature. Presence is power. Most people underestimate how deeply body language shapes perception. They believe attraction is purely facial symmetry, youthfulness, or fashion choices. While those factors play a role, they are secondary to something more primal. The way a woman carries herself speaks volumes before she even opens her mouth. Men, whether consciously or unconsciously, are wired to pick up on these signals. They can spot uncertainty, self-doubt, and insecurity just as easily as they recognize confidence, grace, and composure. Posture is the foundation of this. A woman who stands tall, shoulders back, chin lifted, and moves with purpose immediately signals that she is someone worth noticing. This isn't just psychological, it's biological. When you hold yourself in a powerful, open stance, your body actually produces more testosterone and less cortisol, increasing confidence and reducing stress. Conversely, when you slouch, cross your arms, or make yourself smaller, you trigger the opposite effect, making yourself feel and appear less powerful. Movement plays a critical role as well. There's a stark difference between a woman who rushes through a space, frantic and unaware, and a woman who glides through a room with measured, intentional steps. The former communicates anxiety and distraction. The latter demonstrates self-assurance and poise. People are naturally drawn to those who seem in control of themselves and their surroundings. A woman who moves with grace appears competent, and competence is deeply attractive. Eye contact is another essential component. Many women, especially those struggling with self-esteem, avoid direct eye contact, looking down or glancing away too quickly. This subconsciously signals discomfort, a lack of confidence, or even submission. On the other hand, maintaining steady, warm eye contact without staring aggressively creates a sense of presence that is impossible to ignore. It conveys certainty, intelligence, and engagement. Beyond posture and movement, there's an intangible quality that some women possess, a sense of being fully present in the moment. Too many people exist in a state of distraction, absorbed in their phones or lost in their thoughts, barely aware of their surroundings. A woman who is completely engaged with the world around her, who listens intently, who acknowledges others with a slight nod or an appreciative smile, she commands attention effortlessly. Men notice this because it signals something profound: self-respect. A woman who respects herself enough to carry herself with grace, to present herself with dignity, and to be present in her interactions is demonstrating that she values herself. And people, men especially, respond to that value. It is an unspoken yet powerful message. I am someone worth noticing. The way a woman presents herself speaks volumes about who she is, how she values herself, and the standards she holds for her life. Grooming and aesthetic mastery are not about vanity. They're about discipline, self-respect, and understanding human nature. People, men in particular, notice effort. They notice when a woman has taken the time to refine her appearance, to polish the details, and to cultivate a sense of aesthetic harmony. This is not a shallow observation. It is deeply rooted in evolutionary biology and psychology. Attractiveness is not purely genetic. It is largely within a woman's control. There are countless examples of women who may not have been born with extraordinary beauty, but who, through meticulous grooming and careful styling, have transformed themselves into striking individuals. This is because beauty is, to a great extent, a skill. It is something that can be honed, refined, and optimized through deliberate effort. The difference between a forgettable appearance and an unforgettable one often comes down to small but critical details. Skin, for example, is one of the first things people notice. A clear, well-maintained complexion suggests health, vitality, and care. This is not about meeting an unattainable standard. It is about taking responsibility for one's own presentation. A woman who invests in proper skincare, who hydrates, who nourishes her body with the right foods, and who maintains a routine that enhances her natural glow is signaling something powerful. She values herself enough to take care of herself. Hair is another defining feature that can completely change how a woman is perceived. A well-groomed hairstyle, whether long or short, straight or curly, communicates effort and intentionality. Hair that is unkempt, overly damaged, or styled without thought gives the impression of neglect. A woman who understands what suits her face, what enhances her best features, and how to maintain a polished look is already setting herself apart. Clothing choices also play a pivotal role in how a woman is perceived. It is not about blindly following fashion trends, but about understanding proportion, color, and fit. Well-tailored clothing enhances presence and conveys refinement. A woman who dresses in a way that flatters her body shape and aligns with her personality is more visually compelling than one who simply throws on whatever is available. It is the difference between being seen as someone who is intentional versus someone who is careless. The psychology behind grooming and aesthetic mastery is simple. When a woman looks like she has put in the effort, people assume she puts in effort in other areas of her life as well. A polished appearance suggests discipline, and discipline is attractive. Men subconsciously register these cues, understanding that a woman who invests in herself is likely to have higher standards, better self-care, and greater emotional stability. The external is often a reflection of the internal. If a woman respects herself enough to present the best version of herself to the world, she is already ahead of those who believe that appearance does not matter. Femininity is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood traits a woman can cultivate. In a world that often equates femininity with weakness, many women have been conditioned to suppress their natural grace, warmth, and softness in an effort to compete in a more masculine-driven society. However, the reality is that femininity is not a disadvantage. It is an incredible asset. Men, whether they articulate it or not, are instinctively drawn to women who embrace their feminine essence, not because it makes them submissive, but because it makes them complementary. This is not about adhering to outdated gender roles or playing a role to please others. It is about understanding the power that comes with fully embracing one's natural strengths. Femininity is not just about appearance, it is about energy. A woman who radiates warmth, kindness, and grace is inherently magnetic. Men notice the difference between a woman who carries resentment, bitterness, or excessive aggression, and one who moves through life with an air of receptivity and openness. The former repels, while the latter attracts. There is an undeniable appeal to a woman who knows how to be strong without being harsh, assertive without being combative, and independent without being emotionally closed off. This balance is rare, which is precisely why it is so captivating. A woman's voice and mannerisms also play a crucial role in how she is perceived. The way she speaks, the tone she uses, and the way she engages in conversation all contribute to her overall presence. A woman who is constantly confrontational, loud, or dismissive of others may command attention in the short term, but she does not cultivate admiration or long-term intrigue. On the other hand, a woman who speaks with warmth, who listens with intention, and who expresses herself in a way that invites conversation rather than conflict is far more engaging. There is an undeniable charm in a woman who can make those around her feel comfortable and valued without diminishing her own strength. Men are also highly responsive to a woman's emotional state. A woman who is constantly anxious, stressed, or consumed by negativity is difficult to be around, whereas a woman who exudes a sense of peace, joy, and emotional stability is like a breath of fresh air. This does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending to be happy all the time, but rather developing emotional intelligence and resilience. A woman who can handle challenges with grace, who knows how to navigate difficulties without allowing them to consume her, stands out in a way that is both rare and deeply attractive. The ability to embrace femininity while maintaining strength is what separates extraordinary women from the rest. A woman who understands the power of her presence, who cultivates grace without fragility, and who remains open without being weak, is truly captivating. Men notice and appreciate these qualities not because they are looking for someone to control, but because they are drawn to a woman who embodies the best of what it means to be feminine. Someone who is confident in her identity and unafraid to embrace the strengths that make her uniquely powerful. There is something undeniably compelling about a woman who possesses depth. She is not merely attractive on the surface. She has an aura of mystery, an intellect that intrigues, and a presence that commands curiosity. Men may initially be drawn to physical beauty, but what truly captivates them and holds their attention is a woman who has something beneath the surface, something that makes them want to learn more, to unravel the layers of her mind and personality. This is where so many women fail. They focus on their outward appearance, assuming that beauty alone is enough to make them desirable, but they neglect the very thing that creates lasting fascination, an engaging and dynamic inner world. Mystery is not about playing games or being intentionally evasive. It is about not laying everything on the table immediately, about allowing a sense of curiosity to build naturally. A woman who tells her entire life story in the first conversation, who over-explains every thought or feeling, who leaves no room for intrigue, loses the element of discovery. Men are wired to seek challenges, to pursue, to uncover what is hidden. When a woman retains a sense of mystique, when she reveals herself gradually rather than all at once, she becomes infinitely more compelling. The unknown is exciting, and a woman who understands this holds immense power. Beyond mystery, intelligence is a key component of lasting attraction. A beautiful woman may turn heads, but a woman with depth keeps them engaged. A sharp mind, a well-rounded perspective, and the ability to engage in meaningful conversations set a woman apart in a way that beauty alone never can. This does not mean that a woman must be an academic or an expert in a specific field. It means she must cultivate her intellect, remain curious, and develop her own ideas and opinions. A woman who reads, who explores different perspectives, who has passions and interests beyond surface-level distractions naturally commands respect and admiration. Depth is also reflected in emotional maturity. Many women, without realizing it, sabotage their attractiveness by being overly reactive, insecure, or emotionally volatile. Men, whether consciously or subconsciously, seek women who bring a sense of peace and emotional stability into their lives. A woman who is constantly overwhelmed by minor problems, who seeks validation through drama, or who cannot regulate her emotions becomes exhausting to be around. On the other hand, a woman who carries herself with emotional intelligence, who can navigate challenges with grace, who does not allow external circumstances to dictate her mood, becomes a source of inspiration and admiration. The ultimate combination is a woman who possesses both external beauty and internal intrigue. She is not easily deciphered, nor is she predictable or one-dimensional. She is constantly evolving, learning, and refining herself. This kind of woman does not chase attention, she commands it effortlessly. Men notice her not just because she is visually appealing, but because there is something about her that they cannot quite define, something that keeps them wanting more.